Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Ronald Yap. Today we will be talking about getting back into shape after all of the enjoyable feasts and treats of the holiday season. Many men's health issues, such as cardiovascular disease, erectile dysfunction, urinary problems, and many cancers are related to obesity. Therefore, whether it's your resolution or not, improving your fitness level and becoming leaner is an all-around great way to improve your health. So today, Jim Olson, fitness trainer at Individual Fitness, joins me. Business in Concord, New Hampshire. And full disclosure, you've worked me out. So I can't think of a better guy to come and hang out with me and talk about how to get guys back in shape. A few words about Jim. Hails from Minnesota. We'll get into a little bit about your backstory in a few secs here. And studied exercise science, fitness and nutrition at North Dakota State, and went to Plymouth State University. And he's been certified by the American Council on Exercise, National Strength and Conditioning Association, and the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So he has some street cred. So welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming
It's
today.
an honor to be here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So you've worked me out, so I get to work you out here, buddy. Huh?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And so the format of the show is I always start off by just getting your journey. You started off in Minnesota. I know you're an avid ice hockey guy
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
And how the heck did you go from Minnesota to here? A little brief intro about building up and starting off up your business, and then we'll talk about how to get dudes back in shape after the holidays, man.
Sure.
Take it away, man.
Well, so in Minnesota, I actually was going to be a professional hockey player, and so I've been training, since I was on skates pretty much right as I could walk. So health and fitness was always my second nature because I always had to be in condition to play hockey. So I walked away from the game and had no idea what to do, and I just was always in the weight room, and one of my buddies was saying, like, you better own your own business because you don't like to work. You're always in here. And I thought, well, what better way to work? If I love what I'm doing, then I never have to work again. So I actually went and found a study at a university, found an exercise science, and just took that up. And while I was at North Dakota State University studying, like you were saying, the exercise science, my advisor had a push pin of like all the opportunity, of where she would say where the students landed jobs. And one was a lot of push pins were on the East Coast and over on the West Coast. And so I love New York City, Boston, and I said, well, I got to go out to New York City, that area. So believe it or not, Plymouth State was the only one that would accept my college credits and do the whole transfer. And so I moved out here back in December of '99 and transferred to Plymouth State and resided here in Concord and commuted every day and got a job at Planet Fitness and then believe it or not, September, I climbed the ladder within the management team of Planet Fitness and thought, I just, that's not for me. I kind of want to own my own business. And September 11th, 2001, I left Planet Fitness and with like a hope and a prayer, and I had one client, and the past 14 years, give or take, I've built a business, and I love helping people succeed.
That's great. Well, thanks for the intro. So it's not New York. I think it's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is. Yeah. I know. I was an avid.
I don't even know if you necessarily knew exactly where Plymouth State was, because I remember you were telling me, at the gym once. I knew it was kind of close, but not that far north. But I think it's a great place to land, and it's you have a successful business for 15 years. So getting it back to the guys. So we do a men's health show.
Yep.
And what I was trying to get as far as this show is, after that wonderful time where there's turkey, ham, sweet treats, everything in the stocking, how do we transition from that phase to, boy, it's the New Year's resolution. Everybody says they want to get more healthy, they want to lose weight. How do you get from, that idea that because it's a laudable idea that everybody should do, why does that fail? How do you make that a reality? What trips people up?
Well, I think, in to be honest, a lot of people set up unrealistic expectations, and or they start off too fast and then burn out real quick, and you got to remember, unfortunately, it's going to be like a marathon. So you just got to start off with baby steps, and and you build on that, and you start off by setting smart goals, where they're specific, and you get something where you can be measurable, and attainable. And so what I look at, like, for the health and fitness, I mean, it's the exercise, it's the nutrition, and then it's the cardio. So you pick one, focus on that, whether it's the strength training, and then you make a commitment of 30 days of maybe twice a week. Mm-hmm. And then you do that for 30 days, and you see how you were, and then you build on, you go for the next month. And so it's just, it's a step by step, but so many people just start off and want to be, think they're going to be like 20 pounds lighter, can run a marathon and bench 300 in 30 days. It's just, it doesn't happen.
I see. So you think that people take too big a step too soon? Is that what you're saying? That maybe they bite too much out of the apple?
Oh, exactly. And I look at this, and it's just think of this New Year's resolution as well. That might be a bad analogy. I was going to go like a plastic bag that can only handle 5 pounds. I mean, you're not going to put 10 pounds in that bag, because it's going to like stretch and hold that 10 pounds for how long before it'll fall through. Mm-hmm. Start with a half a pound and then add another. So it's just you're able to fulfill that.
I got it.
That goal.
Now, how about the impact of the mind? Because it sounds like everybody wants to go to the gym, everybody wants to eat healthy, but I think what trips up most people is that in some way all the intentions are great, but these may not be your clients, because to get into seeing you altogether means that they're interested in a tangible way in becoming healthier. But any tips for the audience out there, if you're out there by yourself and you want to start up, and it sounds like first have attainable, what do you do with your mind? The mindset. What do you do with, how do you get that ball rolling in the mind department?
The mindset is a huge thing, and that's become, such a goal in itself. It's just like, it's, I think an honest mindset is like, it starts with, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and expect that it's not going to be rosy, and you're going to have days that you don't feel like working out, or you're not going to do it 100%, but it's okay to have setbacks. I think that's the first thing, because most people get in the mindset of I'm going to exercise 5 days a week for an hour, and if they miss day 2, they're just like, well, I'll see you later, and then, or I'll do it next week, and then next week, something happens. So I think having a positive mindset is crucial, but that is expecting setbacks. Mm-hmm. Expecting the days like you're not going to work out, and then when you're there, you look out, and then you set yourself up for maybe, okay, who's going to hold me accountable? Maybe who am I going to help? How am I going to get there? I need a little help, so maybe it's a coworker, a spouse, something to check in, or things of that nature, so you don't have to go at it alone.
Okay, so it's having some sort of community, you think, yeah, or a partner or a buddy to
accountability, because you're committed, and then I think for most people it's like that if they have no one to be accountable to, it's like it's easier for them just to give up, when the going gets tough.
So obviously, as a trainer and a personal trainer, then that's that accountability. That's where you feel like someone like yourself, or someone in your field, would be very helpful then.
Oh, absolutely. It really, it's the mindset, the accountability. They go hand in hand. So
I see.
Yeah.
So let's say you just don't want to do it that day. because we all have days like that. We all have, even the best intention, you just have a bad day or a bad meal. And like, let's say you just, you fall on your face and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm sick. There's always a reason, right? I'm sick and, oh, I just don't feel like it today. How do you push through that barrier when you talk to your clients, or someone's just having like an off day, or even like in the gym when sometimes I'm sure, because people pay you money to go work out, right? Maybe they just show up and how do you get them through the wall, man?
Well, I look at them and I say, hey, it's okay. It's okay you don't feel like it, but you're here, and I guarantee you're going to feel better after you leave, because half the battle is just showing up. And I say you're going to get 300% more out of this now than you would have had you not. And they go, well, I don't get it. You're not good at math. I said, well, okay, so let's add it up. 1, you're here. All right, so that's 100%. You showed up. 2, you're going to eat better. All right, so that's 200% better. 3, you're going to do the cardio. Now, even if we just sit and chat a little bit and you do 2 exercises, you've still done 100% more than what you had you not come, because then you would have said, screw this, I'm going home. Then you would have probably got that guilt and shame of like, well, I might as well just eat what I want. Then you wouldn't have done any cardio. So that guilt, shame, remorse, and then it would be like 1 day turns into 2, then a week. So showing up, and it goes back to the mindset and the accountability, but showing up is like 90% of that battle when it comes to those days.
I got it. Now, the nice thing about seeing your place and working out there is that I see people of all body types, and I would hope that anybody that works in the fitness industry knows that we all have this idea about what that guy looks like, and it's like this ripped dude that's like, 3% body fat that looks like Arnold, and that's just not America, right?
Yeah,
and what I've seen, I see different body types, and like I mentioned, this is a men's health specific show, and the good news is that what you've described is unisex. That's for anybody, the mindset.
Yeah.
Now, we all see the various magazines and know what the body type should be. Like I said, that and I've seen recently that there's even this thing called the dad bod, which is like the opposite of that. So
yeah,
got,
I was
like,
just going to say. Yeah.
And I've even seen funnier things out there. We should like talk about this, like the new stuff where they're talking about guys being bear mode, which is like husky, or otter mode, thin and sleek.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know, and as a doctor interested in men's health, I don't know if that's exactly the right image necessarily to have as like the platitude of men's health. Meaning we all want that. Who doesn't want to look like a chiseled statue? But in going to your place and seeing people's different goals, any comments on the individual person? Because that's the tip of the pyramid. These are people that are Mr. Fitness. These are models. These aren't people that are the average American, and we have an obesity problem. A vast majority of Americans are obese. How do we move that needle? In your way, I think you're changing the world in your own way. It may not be like there's like a drop in the ocean, but getting guys to get in shape, but not feel like you got to be like that dude, on the top of the cover of the magazine.
Well, I think, it goes back to, again, the body image or the image portraying. I mean, you're going from one extreme to the other, which I don't think are both either healthy at all. I mean, the dad bod or the chiseled. The other thing is like, the chiseled male on those, the muscle and fitness or whatever. I mean, that is strict dieting and cardio for 16 weeks. And they don't walk around like that every day. So, I mean, that's just for photos. They take, 1,000 photos and they sell the photos to, their male models. But to get back for the average man. And I think it goes back to that mindset we're talking about is what's challenging for men that I see is, they've let their family, they've gotten their careers going, they've gotten the family going. So it's, they allowed their exercise to take the back seat. Now it's time for them to like, hey, I want to watch my kids grow up. I'm out of shape raking the yard. I don't want to get back into that gym where it's like, I want to lift 300 pounds. And if I don't feel like that, I think I'm going to be made fun of. Or they are caught back in their glory days of like, well, I used to do 300 and now I'm only doing this, and then it sends that tailspin. So it's getting back to basics, and and being okay with, hey, I need a little help here. I need a jump start. I need some guidance, and I want to do it the right way because I don't want to get injured, or my goals have changed. It's like I don't want to lift 300 pounds or be that guy, flexing in the mirror or whatever. Health and fitness to me is more about having the energy, spending the time at the end of the day with my kids after working hard, and going on a family hike and things of that nature.
Those are awesome goals, and I think that brings it, makes it real. Particularly in New Hampshire, we have a lot of avid outdoors people here, and I think it's wonderful to be able to have people make like a goal. Like maybe I want to climb one of the mountains around here. Maybe I want to,
like for one goal could be, the do the 4,000, do the all the presidents, or we have a lot of clients that I had a gentleman here. He came from surgery and whatnot, and he's getting back into everything. And his goal was to actually be able to run on the treadmill, and he started out in 30 seconds, and then he slowly progressed over time, and now he's doing an hour on a treadmill. But because he wants to be able to do a 5K and then soon, half a marathon. So it's just, I think, I think getting, and again, you were saying about that mindset. It's getting the mindset of men's fitness or men's health to be more about positive energy and feeling good about themselves and
personal goals.
Yeah.
And I think it's every person's different, and I think it sounds like, just to summarize what you were saying, is having tangible goals that may be short or small that you build up on. Positive energy and accountability are good. Now, let's say people don't have the means to have a trainer or eat the fancy quinoa diets. Do you have any tips for people that like Han Solo out there? That it sounds like that the prototypical guy you're talking about is a guy that dreams of his Al Bundy glory days. When he scored 5 touchdowns and he's sitting there as a couch potato and he's like, oh man, well I want to be like that dude again, like in high school, but I can't. But and it kind of is a vicious cycle. I feel depressed about it. I want to do something, but I can't, and they're kind of by themselves. I'm trying to let's kick people up out of their seats, out of the couches, and what do you tell that dude to fire him up?
Well, I mean, you got to start, and you just, I mean, you go. One for me is you got to go watch some Rocky movies, and you gotta you find that passion and you start believing in yourself, and you go and down the magazine aisle and you look at those magazines. Then I know it's kind of an oxymoron, but these are I mean, it's just got to come from within a little bit, and I don't know, just let it rip.
I got it. I got it. Man up, basically.
Yeah,
Man up.
And it's like get off the couch.
Yeah, I got it. Now, we're just talking a lot about movement. We spent a lot of time talking about kind of the exercise regimen. Not really nutritionists or a topic about nutrition, but that obviously is a huge part of it. Huge part of it. And maybe someday I'll have a dietitian on or something like that to get the other component of it, because it can be as clinical as you want it to be. But for guys, that are doing who knows what job, either for the general public or for men, dietary tips for people that are just getting started up in January.
Yeah. Well, number one is I would increase the protein. Decrease those bacon cheeseburgers. Increase your water. Decrease the alcohol. Plan. I mean, I like to believe we're still in a day and age where we actually bring our meals to work. So, ask the wife or significant other if they can have some help in prepping some healthier meals. I guess just choose, the healthier versus the non, and just make those small strides. And I'll just kind of recap. It's the water, it's the protein. Get away from the beer and the cheese, and maybe look at kicking off, cutting the cigarettes or nicotine or cutting down on the caffeine, things of that nature.
And smoking is a huge problem. And as a urologist, we know it's a big problem for bladder cancer especially. And I know lung cancer gets a big, piece of the attention, but bladder cancer is a big deal. And there's so many problems with that smoking. And we had talked about the other vices like, alcohol and whatnot. Any words specifically about the smoking? Because I know that's really bad for your VO2 max and exercise tolerance and everything.
Yeah.
Is that component?
God, I don't have the statistics, but I mean, just by if you quit one day or something, but it just I know, like, we've had some people who just quit and it's the first 2 weeks and they just had worked on increasing their cardio, and it's just amazing the benefits they receive. It's just like, and then not to mention the years it's saving from their life as far as with quitting smoking.
I got it. So as far as if a client sees you and they are smoking, is that at the top of the list as far as your recommendations? We talked about diet, exercise, mindset. Where is that whole alcohol, smoking? So is it way at the top of the list?
Yeah. As far as top of the list is a priority?
Yeah.
Not really.
Is that right?
Yeah. Not really. I think I think they're still justifying it as far as if I'm understanding correctly. I mean, they're really not looking at giving it up, so to speak. I mean, that comes later, because I think they're still I'll go and do the work and then reward myself with a few beers or I can't wait to do this and then have the cigarette, and then that comes more when they're not achieving their goals as a result of it. It's like they have to look like what's affecting my progress or hindering my performance. So
you're saying that comes later. So getting up and doing something starts up first.
Oh, that's number one.
And then once they start doing something, they reevaluate what they're doing.
Yeah.
That seems it's funny because as a doctor, I'd think it would be the opposite. I would say, quit your smoking now. I'd be like pretty hard on it. Aren't you killing yourself? Don't drink, don't smoke. Yeah. That's not good for you. But you're saying when you're getting them at the gym,
you
can't get them to move that needle up front, is what you're saying, huh?
Yeah, no, it's very challenging. It's just because it's almost they're holding the self-justification and rationalization. It's like I don't want to. There again, I don't want to like try to commit to too many things and then fail.
Yeah. It's a big task for some people.
It is. I mean,
with the smoking.
I personally, I've gone through the struggles myself with giving this up and giving that up, and I'm just like anybody else, so I can relate to them of like that justification, rationalization. So it's just get one and then focus on the next. Again, going back to those 30-day goals. So get into your routine and then start cutting down.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
It's fun, talking with you outside the gym.
Yeah.
And as a doctor, I'll still say quit smoking and stop drinking and then go see Jim. It's all important.
It is. It is.
But like I said, thanks for your tips and advice, and I'll see you, I guess, whenever I'm supposed to be there, huh?
Hey, right on.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.